Okay, guys, welcome back to another episode of the DropPodcast. What is up? I don't know what's up. What is up is that me and my good cousin Sammy, aka Shmuel, we just dropped a new song. It's called Miyagi, and if you have not seen it already, it's kind of a must. You kind of have to go check it out. It's pretty good. Made it a while back, recorded that up a little bit, and it's pretty much really good. So if you haven't checked it out already, you are sleeping, you are asleep, you are snoozing, and you need to wake up. Man, it's good to be back on the podcast though. Have my super delicious, what is it called? My super delicious Smoothie King. My favorite is the, I really like the lemon twist. I'll put mango inside of it. Oh my gosh, it's incredible. The strawberry mango twist with lemon, or not lemon, did I say lemon? I meant mango chunks inside of it. Incredible. Beyond amazing. But okay, let's talk about this single real quick. So, me and my cousin Sammy, we dropped our second single since Speak Easy, and actually I think my second. Oh wait, no, because I dropped the Colors EP. But so this is my second single since. Okay, this is not going very well. My second single ever since our second single that we did since Speak Easy. Which also, if you haven't listened to Speak Easy, that's a must too. That is definitely also a must, and you definitely need to go check that out. So, yeah. So we had made this beat, or this is the background behind this. So we made this beat way back, probably think it was. I'm trying to think. It's September now. It's probably back. It was a little bit after we finished up the Speakeasy music video that we made this beat. And actually, I don't think we didn't make this beat. Actually, Sammy made the beat. I was at work, and it was a Monday, I remember. And so he made this beat, and he sent it to me at work. Oh, well, he had FaceTimed me because he needed to know how to do something real quick. And so basically I showed him I think like 808s or something, or like how to I don't know, put something in. I can't really remember like exactly what it was, but anyway, so we did that, and he I can't remember if he sent me while I was at work, but somehow I saw it, or I think as soon as I got home, I went upstairs and I was like, yo dude, show me the beat. Because this, I think, was his first beat that he ever made by himself. And one thing about Sammy, his beats are so good. Like, I don't know, he's got this natural, I don't know, a natural thing for making beats, I guess. Yeah, it's incredible. But anyway, wow. But yeah. But anyway, so I get home and I hear this beat and I'm like, dude, this is so good. And so we made it, but then we were sitting on it for a second because we had this other beat that we made that we were actually gonna do first. It was a bit harder, and we were kind of into that more heavy type of stuff at that moment. Like we just want to make like bangers. Especially after Speak Easy, which is a tiny bit softer of a song. like we just wanted to produce something that sounded just out of this world, crazy good, you know, which we ended up not doing, and I think we like skipped over that one. He actually ended up going home, and either I revisited the song or he was writing to it, because we so 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 the first lyric, funny story, the first lyric goes, the hook, the hook goes, not every day do you get to squeeze triple D's. I whip out my mini-me cause you wanna see. So that actually came by because we found out that this girl that we knew had triple D's, and we were just like, no way, I didn't even think like that was possible. Actually, well, we brought that up, and then someone was like, oh dude, like I know people that have like F's, and I was like, what? So it was, I don't know, it was just crazy to us. So we were just like mind blown, and we were rapping to this for a second, rapping to the beat that he made. And I was like, Trip D's, like, I was like, oh shoot, dude, like, Trip D's goes hard. And so, like, so we were just messing around with that word, Trip D's. And eventually it just turned into, not every day do you get to squeeze Triple D's. And from there, really just took off. Not every day do you, and so I think he left with that lyric, and I was kind of done with it. Like I was done with it for a second, and I think he came back to me with the hook, and I was like, oh shoot, and then I was like, oh, should I hop on it? And then he was like, oh yeah. And so I had actually wrote something completely different than what I originally wrote, because I was listening to it before I even heard like the rest of the song. So actually what I ended up writing, I think I have the paper over here. Hold on. Try not to mess up my new setup. Oh no, that's not it. Anyway, but what I wrote, I was like, played that Sam beat like a trombone, swinging a hit, let's take it home, something like that. And so I was really, really rocking with that. Because whenever I write, I find like it has to flow. Like if I sit there and think about the lyrics too much, it just doesn't work. So it has to flow. It has to just have that bouncy kind of energy, that vibe. But at this moment, I wasn't quite getting that. Well, no. I mean, what I mean to say is I had it with this thing, and then Sammy sent me his part of the song, and I was like, oh man, like this doesn't really fit. Like I don't really like what I wrote in regards to his lyrics, and so I was messing with it for like a whole week. I was just trying to like get inspiration. It was just lagging on and on, and then finally I was just like, oh man, you know, it'd be cool like if I had. Because I used to do karate growing up, and actually still kind of do it. Like I've pretty much done karate since I was in 5th grade or something, and this is actually the first year that I stopped. Actually, like months ago that I stopped. Like over summer, I finally stopped doing karate. But anyway, so my style is called Matsubiyashi Shorin Ryu. Which is a ancient, like an old Okinawan style of karate. And so that's kind of where that inspiration came from. Where I was like, Okinawan Matsubiyashi. And I was like, shoot. I was like, hey, karate. Something like that. Like I don't know. I was just messing around with that idea. Like, ooh, karate, Okinawan Matsubiyashi. And then eventually it became what it was. Miyagi. I think it's like a karate. Okinawan Matsubiyashi Chocolate 6 give body. She was some lean meat past teriyaki. Hey, nice to meet it's Miyagi. So it took me a minute to get to the teriyaki, and I actually didn't like that line at first because I don't like to be dirty with my lyrics, or too dirty, because I'm a very like clean individual, and I don't know. I don't want to be like, I just don't like the lyrics. It's too easy to do something, inappropriate. But I sat on it, and then I remember I just came back to it, and for some reason, like, everything just clicked. So it took me like a week, and I was just struggling, and I probably wrote down like 4 different verses. I knew I wanted to start off with like some like kind of smooth, like ooh karate, Okinawan Matsubiyashi. Like, I knew that was kind of the direction that I was going with that. So the beginning was fine. It was just, where do I take it from there? Like I said, eventually I wrote something, and I didn't like it at first, and I just sat on it for a little bit. And as I sat on it, I feel like if I listen to something too much, I start to not like it. So I need to like take a break. I find it's basically what I've learned from this from writing this song. But anyway, so I sat on it, and then for some reason the next time I listened to it, it was just clicking, and I probably had written a good amount of the song by that point, or of my verse, and then like the most difficult part is finding a really, really good way to end a song, or to like end your hook. And so I was really, really struggling at that part too, because I think I had up to, let's see, what is it? Hey, karate, Okinawa Matsubiyashi, Chabugasu get bodied. She was some lean meat past teriyaki. Hey, nice to meet it's Miyagi. I don't know work if she like you. Oh, so that lyric probably came next. So that came from. So me and Sammy got in contact with some of our friends, and we've gotten like just like tight with them since, and everything that we would make, we would like send it over there, just like get their feedback, their opinions on it. And so I was just thinking like, oh, no, it works if they like it. So yeah, I mean, basically that's that. And so I think it was from there, and that was almost like the last day, like Friday, because I wanted to get it to him within a week, because he had finished, and so he was just waiting on me. So I wanted to get him to within a week, and so it was like Thursday, and then I had from there, no, it works if they like you. From there, everything I remember just like clicked, like everything was just so smooth until the very end, where I was like, okay, how do I wrap this up into the hook? And then eventually I was like, you know what, let's just do something simple. Like, so what I ended up doing is I was just like, especially when she lets me, grabbing a, and then I had this voiceover under it too, because every time I record twice, and I always sort of like mix those two together. I feel like that's kind of becoming like me and Sammy's style, like with the double voices. So that's what we did with that, and then like I said, from there, like, it all just went together, and so we were sitting on it, and then finally I was like, you know what, I think it's time. And so I contacted my man Sammy, and we started talking about like, okay, what do we want the art to look like? And I was like, oh, it'd be cool if we did like those old Japanese farmer hats. And so we're just trying to figure out like, how could we do that though? And then finally, like, I was just like, oh man, forget it. I'll just if you just send me like a picture of like a drawn together hat on Snapchat. So that's basically, if you see the front thing, it's just 2 Snapchat pictures photoshopped together in a drawn, with a drawn triangle. I might just have to make a drop episode to show you guys how I did that, because it's kind of cool, and I'm really, really proud of it. And then I just used the Photoshop effects to make it look like all watercolored. That's the direction I was going for. Yeah, I'm really, really proud of it though. I think it's really good. But anyway, if you guys haven't checked that song out, and I'll remind you whenever I finish up this episode, but I'm really proud of it. I think Sammy's really proud of it. I love the way it turned out. Absolutely love the way that it turned out. I think it turned out really, really good. I don't think I would want it to be any other way. Like, the way that exactly how it did, I think was perfect. And I'm really, really proud of it. Because at first, I find like you need to wait. Like I said, that I just like sat on the hook for a second, or like the first two lines for a second. Like, eventually it does just like somehow come together. It's so weird. It's almost like every lyric that I write, if I try and push it, it just won't come. But if I just let it wait, if I just try not to pressure it, let it come, then it just like pops up. Like I'll hear the beat, and a word will just pop into my head, and as soon as that word pops up, like I know the word is dope, and so then I just have to figure out how to fit everything to that word, specifically, like how to make everything from that word all mixed together and sort of flow, because that's my biggest thing. The flow is the most important. I want a catchy bar with a really, really, really cool flow, and that's my objective whenever I make my music. But yeah, anyway, like I said, if you guys haven't seen that yet, I think at this moment it's not on anything except for YouTube. I think it's on, you can find it, I know you can find it on Google Play. You can find it on iTunes, but typically Spotify will take a little bit longer to get my stuff out, or get my stuff up. But as soon as that comes up, I will for sure let you guys know. Oh, and I also think it's on TikTok, so if you want to do something with that, that might be a little bit fun. But yeah, anyway, really, really excited about it. And I hope that you guys like it. If you like the song, definitely share it. Share with everybody you know. I'm trying to get a lot of feedback, so but yeah. I'll definitely have to show you guys how I made that, how I made the front of it, though, the front page of it. And then also I made the YouTube thing. Like, everything I've been doing is like all solo made. Yeah, it's really cool. But anyway, I've also heard some stuff. Also stay tuned, because there is some more music coming from both me and Shmuel. And it's looking pretty high. It's on Shmuel's side too. Like I said, Shmuel makes, or Sammy, I call him Sammy, but he makes some of the hottest beats, dude. His beats are so fuego. But no, alright. I'm gonna change topics though. I'm gonna remind you guys about Miyagi, but I just want to give you a little bit about, the process of how that kind of came together. Just some of like the background stuff that went into making the song. Just because I think it's kind of cool to see. Like, I personally think it's cool to see like behind the scenes type of stuff. And so I just figured, if I like it, then you guys might like it too, But anyway, but I do want to, because I heard this, I was kind of thinking about this interesting idea, and I kind of want to touch on it a little bit. I think today I might go longer than usual, and we're good on time anyway. But so I heard this really, really interesting idea, and I kind of wanted to talk about it. Oh yeah, and I also need to get to a question. But anyway, so I heard this really, really interesting idea, and it's all about, well, it's just talking about from a parent's perspective, all the issues that kind of like kids are struggling with, especially in times like this where we have where we're not really able to like go anywhere and socialize. And I was thinking about it, and I mean, like, yeah, it's a huge problem that we can't socialize with each other right now, you know. And there's definitely 100% a lot of mental things I think are going to be really challenging, because socialization is so important. But I was thinking about I was kind of thinking about like back whenever I was younger, like I definitely remember, because I think I was the generation or the age like right between iPhones coming in and people not having phones, and so we still had this kind of level of socialization whenever we were younger, and YouTube wasn't too big, or it wasn't what it was today, or like right now. Like my little sister will be on YouTube all day from 4 in the morning till I don't know, whatever the heck time it is, till whenever she wakes up, which is probably like 12 to 4, like always on YouTube. And it's a terrible thing. Like, it's not healthy at all, because you build these relationships with these images, with these characters, you know what I mean? Like, people aren't like this on in person. Like, even me, like, I try to be as genuine, but sometimes I'm not gonna lie, like, if I don't feel like, well, I make content, right? So I'm making, well, actually, these drop podcast episodes are probably more real, but like my YouTube episodes that I actually do, that's where it's kind of stretching the line, because I'm making content, you know what I mean? I'm trying to make something that's interesting, something that will make you think and sort of mess with your brain a little bit, you know what I mean? Like, there's effort there, whereas this, like, I literally just like turn it on and then create, or just talk. Like, I just talk about things that come to my head, or something that I was thinking about today or heard about today. Like, none of this is planned out. And so I mean, you know, I mean, if you're listening to these, I don't know, forget that. My point is that there's these relationships being built with these fake characters, and people think that they know them. You know what I mean? My little sister, that is her relationship. Where I made relationships at school in person, that is her relationship. And she doesn't look outward towards creating those bonds or risking, you know what I mean? I think that's one of the biggest things, is just risking embarrassment, you know? Like, a lot of children I notice are afraid to risk embarrassment. And I think that's the most dangerous thing, because not knowing how to deal with embarrassment, like that brings you a lot of stress, because you're constantly thinking about what you're doing, and stuff like that. And I think what's interesting is sort of reflecting on myself growing up, is I grew into the phone age, right? So I grew, like, we started off nothing, and so I'm very lucky, and I think privileged to have that. And my parents were very like, no phones. So I was also privileged with that. Whereas my sister, she's the third child, and they loosened up a lot for her. And so she wasn't really blessed with the same disciplines that I had growing up, which I appreciate now. I didn't appreciate back whenever I was in middle school. But look, it's well, one, growing up is hard, right? Growing up is hard, and it's even more so difficult for whenever you are around people who struggle with being genuine, right? I mean, we all do, like it's a human thing. But whenever no one's facing that, because kind of what I notice is that we're able to hide in our phones. We're able to hide in our devices. And that's what's dangerous, is being able to escape embarrassment that you should have to deal with and try and overcome. And then building the relationships part, these fake things with these characters, like my little sister watches some gamer girl that she talks like this and oh my gosh, you know what I mean, like doing all that stuff, and it's not real. No real human being talks like that or acts like that, you know what I mean, or at least not all the time. And that's the other thing, you're only seeing the very talkative, the very upbeat side of human nature. You're not dealing with the challenges of real human nature. But anyway, that I wanted to get to something I was thinking about though. So that got me thinking, like, okay, I grew up no phone, and I think that was a good thing for me. But then growing up into the phone age, I see a lot of things that I struggled with that my little sister's struggling with earlier on in her life. And I had just like a little bit of experience, you know what I mean? It was difficult for me to, I think, overcome, but having that little tiny bit of experience, I think definitely helped me out. But I think as far as my younger sister goes, she hasn't had that. And then on top of that, everyone around her has phones. So, but it had me thinking about me raising my children. How can I possibly, how can I help? You know what I mean? How can I, because if I do give my, or if I do limit like phones and stuff like that, everyone around my my children are going to have phones, or probably, I don't know, whatever Elon Musk is working on, the head chips, you know what I mean? That's gonna be everywhere, and so even if I limit them, they're still exposed to that insecurity culture, you know what I mean, or the very sensitive, very well, you know what I'm trying to say. They're still dealing with people who are unable to or who are just like on their phones all the time, and with these into these fake relationships. So that's kind of what I'm concerned about. Like, is there any way to escape this? Is there any way to solve this? I don't think so. I really don't think so. I think no matter what, I just think that it's just gonna be something that kids are gonna have to deal with. Because I really don't see an alternative option. I do not. I don't see it. I don't know. And it sucks. It does, but I don't know. But what? I don't know. I mean, like, what do you guys think about that? You know what I mean? Well, I guess number one, trying to start from like a positive place. How can you help this generation who doesn't have this, or who is dealing with this issue? I mean, how can we help them? I have no idea. Personally, I have no idea. I think honestly the best thing that we can do is help people realize that they do have a choice. You know what I mean? But the problem is, like, it's so early on. Like, in I know, like, psychology says like your brain, or biology says like your brain is developing until you're like 25, and it's like a big idea for people is that children, you know, how can they make any like big decisions whenever they're still developing? You know what I mean? I listen to Joe Rogan. Joe Rogan loves to say like, "Oh, I was still a chimp," which I wouldn't say like I necessarily disagree with. Like, you're young and there's still a lot of work to get through, mentally, I mean. But I don't think that limits people's abilities, and I think we have to see it that way. I don't think it limits your level of maturity that you can achieve. You know what I mean? I think that has more to do with those who are around you. So, I mean, that being said, like, obviously, like, I'm not really sure, I guess, what it means to say that your brain is still developing, and that your, well, I guess, like, your choices, part of your brain is still developing, but, like, what does that mean, though? You know what I mean? Like, what is a good choice? You know what I mean? Like, what is a good choice to make? Or I guess, would it be, like, long-term, looking at things? Like, maybe little kids can't see things long-term, but even then, I feel like you're kind of getting in a sketchy area, because I feel like, well, I don't see why little kids can't if we, you know what I mean? I don't know. It's tough. It's tough to say for sure, because I feel like there's always one exception to the rule. And two, I don't believe it's true for every single kid. I think some kids are probably really, really, really intelligent and able to think that far. But I think there's a reason. I don't think it's just genetics. I don't think they just got lucky. I think the reason that they're able to look that far has to do with them growing up. And this is all, you know, speculation. You know what I mean? I'm not, you know, I didn't go to college, so I'm dumb. You know what I mean? Like, I wouldn't take what I say with a grain of salt, but I do think it's fair to take what I say and question it, because, or at least give me, you know what I mean? I do want I want to be questioned, because I want to perfect this idea, because that's what I'm trying to build, right? I'm trying to build this whole culture of leadership and taking yourself and making something out of yourself, and looking long distance. You know what I mean? I'm all into that stuff, right? All the leadership stuff and self-improvement stuff. And I see no reason why we can't expect younger children to think about who do they want to be. Not even like, what do you want to be whenever you grow up, but like, what kind of person do you want other people to see you as? You know what I mean? Do you want to be a kind individual? I think that's a great thing for kids to be focused on. But I think a lot of people don't see it that way. They just want their kids to play around, be children, and but I think that's a huge mistake that we make, because we don't expect a lot from them. If you don't expect a lot, they're not going to be a lot. So I think, but anyway, but this is the point I'm trying to make. I think it's becoming necessary, though. I think it's becoming necessary right now that we do have to expect more from our children earlier on. I think it's becoming necessary because of the fact that that children just have more resources more early on. So I think they need to start looking long term, or else they're gonna fight you. Because look, if you're not training your kid to look into the future or set goals or think about, you know, things on a higher level, they're receiving all this influence from these fake people that they fake know, you know what I mean? Or I shouldn't say fake, that from these people that they don't even know. And it is really dangerous. It's very dangerous. And I say that because I see it, you know. I say it because I see it. And it does suck. It does. But, you know, what are we going to do? But I don't know. So, I mean, but my objective, like, what I think will be the solution is I really do believe in this idea that we can create a culture around kids. Like, we can influence kids to just think about this. How do I want Jimmy to see me? Or well, one, well, all right. So I'm gonna take it here. So I know as a kid, I used to feel bad if I said something mean. You know what I mean? I would feel terrible. I would feel so bad. Why is that? You know, I think we forget that we are conscious of our actions to people. I think we forget that kids are more aware of what's going on than we really think. But as I was saying though, why are we not? I lost my train of thought. So I'm trying to decide on like how much stuff I should buy, because I figure like this is the end of the game pretty much, guys. So it's like I'm just, you know, trying to math everything out, like what would be smart. 'Cause I don't need any more money, I guess. I'll probably do this. This might do it. 5 there. 5 here. And maybe 1 more 5. Okay, yeah. As I was saying though, I think we should expect more from our kids, teach our kids how to think more long term about things, and yeah, I mean, just think about relationships. Like, remind them that they are choosing in their life, that they're making choices, and their choices would most benefit them if they looked at them in a more long-term manner. And so I think, given that, if we more influence, like, pushed philosophy back into education, I think children could choose for themselves. Well, one, be more self-reflective to realize these negative things whenever they're feeling them, and then make the decision in their own lives on how they want to live. So whenever you give them that phone, they'll sit back and think about it and be like, oh, you know, I am not as social, or I don't feel good. Something needs to change. Because the problem, and the reason why I said it is because the problem is, as I said earlier, even if your children don't have phones, everyone else around them has phones. So they're still going through the same struggle, because no one around them is really there. Anytime anything gets uncomfortable, everyone leaves. And so, in a way, they're still isolated. I think that's a huge issue that I'm very, 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 very passionate about. And I also believe in kids. I think kids are very, very intelligent. And I think that's something that we really, really don't realize. Because I remember as you know, whenever I was a kid and I would say something mean to one of my friends, I'd be like, why did I say that? That was terrible. And I would feel bad about it. But anyway, so I'm going to end it here because this is a good place to stop, even though I'm really, really enjoying this episode and this conversation is really good. But as I said, if you have not checked out me and Sammy's new single, Miyagi, you have to do that. Like, what are you doing? Go check that out. And also follow me on Instagram at JoshuaTBryan64. It has my little face on it, so you can't miss it. And if you do that, you also get to see the release of my new or like my single whenever it comes, or I mean of whenever the single Miyagi gets on like Spotify and stuff. I'll let you guys know and keep you updated on all the things that happen. Yeah, so with all that being said, also make sure that you go check out my website at joshuatbryan.com, where you can find other content about me. One last time, I'm going to promote Miyagi again. Go check out Miyagi. It's a really good song. And check out our other music too. Speak Easy is another song we made together. If you like Miyagi, you'll probably like Speak Easy. But yeah, so thanks for watching, and make sure you subscribe, like, and comment if you liked this video. Share it with a lot of people. Same thing, share Miyagi with a lot of people, and my other music if you enjoy that. I'm going to check you guys later. See ya.